watching Numbskull News, and today I'm going to talk about the Big 12. With Yormark, they seem to be outflanking the ACC. The ACC is in a lot of trouble. Florida State, Clemson, all this stuff going on, the lawsuits, all of that crap. CFP negotiations didn't exactly yield what the ACC needed to stave off the second lawsuit from Clemson. Now, I think Yormark has a little something to do with that. Now, a little conspiracy on my part, but let me set it up for you. I was watching 365 Sports and they had Mac Rhodes on. Great interview. I suggest you watch it. And he was live in studio. And the first thing right off the rip they came at him with was the CFP. You know, like, how is there such a disparity? You know, you got the big two, they're making like $21 million a year. And then you got the ACC with 13, and then you got the Big 12 with 12. Why are we like fourth place and all this, all this consternation, blah, blah, blah. And Mac Rhodes basically laid it down exactly, almost verbatim, how I've laid it down for you guys. And that is, well, there's, the Big 10, the SEC have bigger ratings. They have blue bloods. They've won a lot of championships. They've been in the tournament a lot. They if they haven't won a championship, they've been in the national title game quite a bit. We got TCU. You don't get credit for Texas and Oklahoma. You probably don't get credit for what Cincinnati did. So there's not a lot to base more money on. Even though we're a great conference, fun conference to watch, we bring ratings, absolutely, but not those kind of ratings. All right, can our ratings go up? Absolutely. There's a huge ceiling on the Big 12, but we just haven't gotten there yet. Keep in mind, this is going to be the first year of the 16-team Big 12. So let's see how it goes. It was Yormark's idea for the look-in. All right. His idea for the look-in, and it got picked up and it got passed in there pretty damn quick, as you heard it reported then a few days later. And for the time you heard it reported that Yormark suggested this, it basically became part of the deal. Like, that's crazy, right? Tell you what happened. Jim Phillips, the people representing the ACC and the CFP negotiations, they needed more money. They needed to be closer to the Big Ten and the SEC. They needed Brett Yormark to come along beside him and say, no. We need more than the 12 and 13. We got to be closer with you guys. You can make more, but you can't make that much more. Now, this is just conspiracy theory on my part. No nothing. No inside sources or anything. But how much do you want to bet? At this point, Brett Yormark is kind of moving the Big 12 to kind of be a toady, if you will. Kind of like, that kid who was a friend of the bully in A Christmas Story. I don't know if, just in case some of you don't remember, the freaking Christmas Story, the one with the lamp that looks like a leg, it looks like a lady's leg, and it's a national award. The kid who wanted the Red Ryder BB gun for Christmas, that one. All right. There's the bully with the yellow eyes and all that. Well, right next to him is a smaller kid, this little toady that helps him bully all the kids. Right now, that's kind of where the Big 12 is being positioned by Brett Yormark. That's my conspiracy. I think he called up Sankey and Petiti and said, you know what? Some of the things I had to push back on, y'all getting bye weeks automatically, things like that, 4 AQs, stuff like that we can't do. But, you want this money gap, those percentages, I'll go with you on the percentage. But let's have a look in 2028. And I bet both of those commissioners kind of looked at each other and said, 2028, eh? All right, I see. We see what you're doing there, Brett. We see what you're doing. And you know what? You got your look in. Let's do it. And then there's Jim Phillips and the ACC out there on an island by themselves. You're not going to fight everything by yourself and just, with some G5 next to you. That's not going to work. So he had to acquiesce. They had to give the SEC and the Big Ten what they wanted. Now, why on earth would Brett Yormark do this? At first, Brett Yormark was crapped on for getting the media rights deal with ESPN and Fox. Only $31.7 million a team. Hell, even I thought that was low. But in hindsight, what did we all find out? No. That was actually a great move, because there went the entire sports landscape went into the toilet. The money went in the toilet. There's ESPN laying off droves of people. All of a sudden, the economy isn't what it once was. So they got in there just in the nick of time with some help from Endeavor, by the way. Another smart move by Brett Yormark. But what does this do? This really kind of ingratiates them to ESPN and to Fox. Like, hey, Yormark and the Big 12 will do business. All right. This is an old wrestling term, doing business. Hey, I'm willing to do business. I'm willing to take a loss. I'm willing to get pinned in the middle of the mat. 1, 2, 3. I'm willing to do it if there's a payoff for me. So what's the payoff for the Big 12? Doing all this business. And by the way, let me finish up on the business before I tell you the payoff. Okay, so the other part of the business is helping the SEC, the Big Ten, Fox, and especially ESPN destroy the ACC. They want it gone, people. They see what happened with the Pac. Not only did the Big Ten get some blue bloods, but everybody got a little more money. Look at the CFP. You notice there wasn't a special carve out for the Pac because it's only 2 teams. And they're going to treat them like independents. Imagine if the Pac was still intact with USC, Oregon, Washington, UCLA. The Big 12 isn't making what it's making. The ACC is not making what it's making. The Big 10 and the SEC, they're not making what they're making. Because you got to have another carve out for the 5th power conference. But it doesn't exist anymore. So everybody else's money gets to go up. If the ACC goes away, then the final 3, their money gets to go up again. See what I'm saying? And ESPN can actually save a little money. It's a win-win for everybody. And what have I been telling you on this channel for over a year now? There's going to be a Power 3. Big 10, SEC, and yes, the Big 12. I get a lot of people in the comments that don't like the Big 12 apparently for some reason, like it's some kind of threat to your blue blood haven. And what do they tell me? They say, well, you're just going to be regulated to a group of 5. Well, it's kind of hard to regulate a conference that gets really good ratings, whose conference title game gets 9 million views without Texas or Oklahoma, with Kansas State and TCU. There's no matchup for a conference title game that's going to get 9 million views in the group of 5. If it did, it wouldn't be group of 5, would it? So once the ACC's out of the way, and the Big 12 is somewhere north of 20 teams, I believe it will be, with additional basketball onlys, whatever that looks like. At that time, you will have the 3rd seat in the room. And if there, and what is the payout? What is the payoff for the Big 12 to be this toady, to do this new jujitsu, to do business with ESPN, to do business with the SEC and the Big 10? Well, probably going to get non-conference games with those two big conferences every year, every team. Makes all the sense in the world. You're going to get more money. You're going to make sure you got a nice big fat seat on the same table with Petiti, with Sankey, to make decisions on what's going on with the CFP or with college football in general. Monetarily, you'll get more on a media rights deal because you've done business. And then you still got to prove that you're worth the money and the time and the effort, but I have no doubt the Big 12 will be able to prove that. With former PAC teams, with former ACC teams, we'll be able to lock that down. But ingratiating yourself with the big two, with ESPN, with Fox, means if there's ever a breakaway, people, the Big Ten and the SEC are going to go do their own thing. If they do, they'll bring the Big 12 along for the ride. Why? Because they know that the Big 12 will do business. And the Big 12 is good for business. No, there won't be no damn Super League. It'll never happen. The SEC and the Big 10 are not going to bust themselves apart. Ever. I don't believe the Big 12 would either. But could those three break away and do their own thing one day? I think the only thing that would bother them is a lack of legitimacy in their title, and bringing along the Big 12 kind of helps having a bit of a cosigner. Who cares if we play the group of 5 or not? But we need to have this last power conference come with us to help us with that legitimacy. And maybe deflect a few lawsuit arrows here and there. How Yormark is positioning the Big 12 to be relevant into the future. It's beautiful. Now, the Big 12 has some work to do. All right, you're going to get at least one automatic playoff spot every year. You got to do something with it. You got to win some games. You ain't got to win titles. You got to win games. One year it may be Utah. One year it's Kansas. One year it's TCU. One year it's Tech. One year it's Iowa State or West Virginia. Whoever it is has to get in the playoffs and needs to win a game. And that needs to happen often. I broke it down before. Win a game every other year. Win 2 every 4 years. But you got to be relevant. You got to do some work. And I know we always have, most years we have really nice success in the NCAA tournament. Now you got to turn it on. You got to start cooking. You need to bring championships and play for championships here in the Big 12. We got the brands to do it. You just got to do it. Deep runs. Elite Eights, Final Fours, it's got to happen in the Big 12 every year. So we got to see this consistency everywhere. Everywhere. Excellence everywhere. It's time. Texas and Oklahoma are gone. Now it's time for these teams to rise up and show what we're worth. Financially, CFP, NCAA payouts, everything, and the next media rights deal. We got to show what we're made of. And Big 12 fans, you got to watch. Stop watching freaking Ohio State versus Michigan. Find you a Big 12 game to watch and freaking watch it. That's how you can support all this. Support the Big 12. We need eyeballs. As many as we can get. You got to watch about it. You got to talk about them. Watch these shows on YouTube. It doesn't have to be mine. I'm not the nicest guy in the world. But find somebody. Greg Flugar, 365. anything. John Kurtz, even though sometimes I think he's a bit of a punk, but he does a decent job when it comes to talking about the Big 12. You know, there's Kuz's Corner. There's a Big 12 Mafia. There's a lot of places to go to get your Big 12 fix. Get it. Get it and get it done. So no more excuses. We got to support this shit. Support the team, support the players, support the schools, support your independent media that watches and talks about it. Like I said, doesn't have to be me. But if you want to subscribe, we're in a good place, y'all. We all got to do our shit. The SEC fans and the Big Ten fans, y'all can kick back and relax and do whatever. For the Big 12, it's time to get to work. Anyway, thanks for watching this crap. That's all I got on it. I'll be back with some more crap later. Bye.